Katie, and I am back with that book haul that I started the other day with part 2. I was about to say 1, but it was actually 2. So we've got another hefty pile here. This one has a lot of collector's edition and like really nice bound ones. So I'm just going to have a quick sip of tea. Biscuit tea, as always. Yorkshire tea. Sponsor me. Hashtag sponsor Katie, Yorkshire tea. So the first book I'm going to get into, because I'm just going to start getting into it, is I bought the collector's edition of Throne of Glass. It is so beautiful. I read Throne of Glass in 2016, I think it was, and I've only read Throne of Glass, which is terrible. I own all of the rest of the books. I buy them every time they come out. But I really need to get into this series, and now that I'm reading ACOTAR and loving it, I think after ACOTAR is finished I need to get back onto the Throne of Glass series. So I bought this beautiful edition so that I could annotate it and make it all beautiful. So yeah, I couldn't help myself, so I bought this edition. Then I bought the Grimm Tales for Young and Old. So this, I believe, is kind of like your Cinderella, and who else do we have in here? Does it have a list? You've got the Frog King, the 12 brothers, little brother and little sister, Rapunzel, the 3 little men in the woods, Hansel and Gretel, Cinderella, Little Red Riding Hood, the elves, Snow White, Rumpelstiltskin, the Golden Bird, the Goose Girl, Bearskin, the Donkey Cabbage. Never heard of that one before, but yeah, so I bought this beautiful edition because I really wanted to start kind of venturing out into like fairy tales and things. So I thought, why don't I just buy a beautiful edition of it, and then I'm going to be more tempted to read it. So I got that one. And then, kind of staying on the fairy tale themes, I bought Hans Christian Andersen's Fairy Tales. So I'm excited by this one too. This one's got like the Little Mermaid in it. What else does it have? It's got Thumbelina, the Princess on the Pea, the Wild Swans, the Snow White, the Little Match Girl, the Snowman, the Ice Maiden, Auntie Toothache. It's got quite a lot in here, so this is a really beautiful edition as well. So again, I bought the beautiful edition so that I would be more tempted to pick it up. But I am really excited to kind of explore fairy tales and things because I've heard they're very, very dark, so I'm quite looking forward to that. Then I had a pre-order that came in at the beginning of the year, I believe, which is the Book of Magic by Alice Hoffman. This is the 4th in the series of the Practical Magic series. I have read Practical Magic and the Rules of Magic. I haven't read Magic Lessons yet. I do own it, but I've not read it yet. I wasn't a huge fan of Practical Magic, the book. The movie's amazing, the book not so great for me. The Rules of Magic was amazing. I really, really enjoyed that one. So I really need to get round to reading Magic Lessons this year and then reading the Book of Magic as well. Then I bought Hamnet? Yeah, I think that's right, by Maggie O'Farrell. I got this one because Shell was talking about this one, and it's something that I would really like to read. So it's based on the twin brother Hamnet. Yeah, it's a novel inspired by the son of a famous playwright, a boy whose life has been all but forgotten, but whose name was given to one of the most celebrated plays ever written. So beautiful edition. Really excited to get to that one. Hopefully get to that one very soon. The problem with buying so many books, like so many in a row, is it kind of, you get a bit overwhelmed with how many, and then you don't really know when you're going to read them. So I'm really hoping I get to them shortly. Just going to have a quick tea break, 2 seconds. There we go, biscuit tea, just saying. Then I picked up this one. It was really fun. It is Marvel Meow. And it's basically Marvel with cats, which I am so excited for. It's just a fun little one, but it's really nice artwork on the inside, and I love cats and I love Marvel. And look at them with their little cat in the backpack. It's so cute. So I had to pick this one up because, well, for reasons. So yeah, that one won't take me very long to read, so I'll probably read that one soonish. I also really want to get into classics this year. I'm not forcing myself, but I really feel like I need to get into them. So Little Women is one that I've always kind of wanted to read. I've never read it before. I've never watched any of the films or anything, but I bought myself this beautiful edition so that I could read it. I know that Shell wants to read it and Danny really wants to read it. It is a chunker though. It's like 700, over 700 pages. It's quite big. So yeah. This terrifies me a little bit. I've got this theme of buying really big chunky books just now, which is quite strange considering on average my like book size that I generally read is about 350, so I'm just kind of doubling or nothing this year, it would seem. But yeah, I really want to get to this one. I'm thinking maybe this springtime. I think this would be good for like a springtime read. I've heard nothing but wonderful things about it. So I really need to get into classics, and I thought this beautiful edition is the perfect one to get into. Then I picked up Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. Very beautiful, very lovely. Everybody probably knows about this one. I got it because everyone was kind of talking about it. I have read her... No, that's a totally different author. I was about to say The Night Circus, but that's Erin Morgenstern. No, never mind. So yeah, I've not actually read anything by Stephanie Garber before. I do own Caraval, but I've not read that one yet either. Is it better to maybe read Caraval first and then read this one? I'm not really sure. You'll have to let me know in the comments. But yeah, I'm excited to get to this one. Not sure when that one's going to be. It's not at the top of my list, but definitely for this year. Then I got this one because I had the paperback of it. I have every intention of reading it, and then for Shell's Christmas, she does know about this, so it's not like I'm spoiling it. I said to her, is there any editions or anything that you would really like for Christmas, any special editions? So she said this book, which is The Song of Achilles, the beautiful edition. And her one is still here because I've not actually seen her yet since Christmas, but I stared at this book and I stared at this book and stared at it and had to get myself this copy as well because it's just so pretty. So I had to get a matching copy with Shell because it was just too pretty and my paperback just doesn't cut the mustard, so I picked this one up as well. And then this book is very, very different, shall we say. So I have bought a book about libraries. It's called The Library, and it's a fragile history, and it's about libraries, which is a beautiful book. And basically it says, what is a library? Is it a mute display of personal wealth and power, or of a humble devotion to God? A routine community source, or a waste of taxpayers' money? In the library we are led nimbly through the centuries, seeing how it has been all of these things and more, as the author's place on the shelf for bookish history. So I picked this up because until I saw this book, I hadn't really thought about where libraries and things came from, and like history is not my strongest suit, but I did think, do you know something, I really want to know where libraries came from, how they came about, who had the first library, who started it, where did the first like council run library come from, like what's it all about? So I've picked this up so I could actually learn. It's one of those types of books though that I feel that I've maybe bought and it's going to sit on my shelf for years and years and years before I actually read it. But it's here if I ever want to know the answers. I've never Googled it before either, actually. So yeah, I'm not going to Google it either. I'm just going to basically read this at some point and find out the history. That's my plan. And then this one, I'm very excited for this one actually. I got The Witcher, The Last Wish. Now, I've got the first two Witcher books, but I didn't know this edition was coming out, and this is the illustrated edition. So I obviously take my money. I had to order it. But the funny thing about it being the illustrated edition is I wouldn't even say it has that many illustrations in it. I think it's got like a couple. I was expecting it to be quite heavily illustrated. I'm trying to find the illustration. So it's got this beautiful illustration here, but a lot of the pages, they don't really have illustrations on them. But it's a very nice book. What does it look like naked? Ooh. Okay. Hello, sir. Okay, but I'm still very excited because I've not actually read the Witcher series yet. I feel like this is going to be the year of me reading series, which is hilarious because usually I'll read the first in a book and then leave it alone. But yeah, I'm quite excited to start this. The next one is a little bit different. It's called Out, and it's by, don't even think I'm even going to bother to try and pronounce the name, Natsu Karino? Kurino. It's a Japanese name, shall we say, and I don't want to insult anybody by trying to butcher it. So this one says, what happens when you cross the line? When you discover a taste for the unthinkable, could you be drawn into a murder for friendship, for a way out of your dreary existence? It says, daring and disturbing, Out is prepared to push the limits of this world, not only in violence and sex, but also in human outlook. It's remarkable. So I'm very excited. I love it sounds like a really good kind of like horror thriller type thing. And I like quite a lot of Japanese literature, so I am very excited by this one. That one will probably be October time, I think, for like Spookathon or something. And then the last book. Now, the funny thing about this book is I'm probably not going to read this anytime soon, but I just had to have it on my shelf. I got the really nice edition of Dune. I always say June, but it's Dune. Everybody's going mad and stuff for this just now. I saw it. I had to get it. It's a chunker. Probably not going to read it anytime soon. I've heard that it's an amazing series, but I've heard it's very, very slow, and I don't want to be in a position where I'm slumpy because I'm actually on quite a good run just now with my reading. So one day, my friend, we might read and we might meet, but for just now, you're just going to look beautiful on my bookshelves. And let's see. It's just so pretty. Ooh, that's really cool. I love when you make a book naked and you take its coat off, or well, I say its coat, its jacket off, and it's just really pretty on the inside. That's always like a nice little boost. I get a bit disappointed when you have a really pretty edition of something and then you take off the cover jacket and you're like, oh, okay. So you've put all the effort on the outside, but what about the people that take the book sleeves off? Because I know for a fact that when I'm reading a book and it's got a dust jacket, I'll take the dust jacket off while I'm reading it so it doesn't get damaged. I'm presuming a lot of other people do that too. Because they're papery, I'm just scared that they tear or like something happens to them. But yeah. So that was the end of book haul part 2. I probably won't have another book haul coming anytime soon because I have put myself on a book buying thing just now. I have set up a thing for myself that basically for every book I read, I'm putting money into a jar, and depending on the size of the book depends on the amount that goes into this jar. And then in October, I've decided I'm going to have a massive splurge. All my pre-orders this year that are out, that have been announced anyway, I've bought all of them with gift cards that I got for Christmas. So I've not actually spent any physical money on books this year. So all my pre-orders are kind of all sorted for that. And then if there's any further pre-orders for the year, I'd imagine I'll probably get some more book vouchers for my birthday in April. And then that should help carry me over without spending money. So I'm still feeding into my book buying problem, but not with my own personal money. So I mean, it's not really a book buying thing at all. I'm just not spending money on them just now. So yeah, thank you so much for watching today. In the comments below, tell me any new books that you've recently got or any pre-orders that you're really excited about, because I need to know all about the books that are coming out, and I'll probably have to then add them to my list. So my book buying ban will probably be over in the comments section. Thank you very much. I hope you all have a lovely day, and I will see you next time.